Rob here once again. I'm actually here in Kamakura today in front of the Great Buddha. Actually, this was just recently visited by the President Obama from the U.S. Plenty of people come here. Actually, as you can see behind me, it's a really mega tourist attraction. But one of the biggest Buddhas out here in Japan, and overall here in Kamakura, lots of shrines to visit. But out here today, absolutely beautiful day. A little bit cloudy, but that's what's going on here.
But looking out across the rest of the Western Pacific today, there is some polar lows, one moving away from Japan right now, and another one running out across China and in towards Korea today. That's going to bring a potential for rain out across Japan by basically tomorrow and then into Tuesday, while we do have another area of low pressure starting to spin up here just northwest of the Marianas. That's actually been Invest 94W out here. It's been spinning in the similar location for about several days now, continuing to spin up there. Does look like it's starting to gain some cyclonic organization with it, but due to the troughing up here towards the north, that's really going to cause that to go extratropical very quickly and run just southeast of Japan and off towards the northeast, really affecting no land masses. But the main topic of concern today is going to be this area of low pressure coming out of China towards Korea, and behind that a strong pooling high of pressure. It's going to start to spill down towards the south, bringing cooler temperatures. And actually, if we look at JMA surface analysis or forecast for about a 48-hour outlook here, 2300 UTC is what this is out for. And that's actually when it was developed. It's forecast 42500 UTC, or about 0900 Japan Standard Time, showing that center of circulation over much of Hokkaido here, extending down towards Kyushu down here towards the south. So really just that big troughing of low pressure all the way down towards Taiwan actually. Behind that is going to be this 1034 HPA coming out of Russia. Very cold and dense. It is going to start spilling here towards the south, and it's going to create a pretty decent gradient-induced winds here all the way across from Korea down towards the East China Sea. Going to be picking up winds on the 25th into the 26th, and with that, a lot of cold air advection. Advection actually is a meteorological term for the horizontal transport of air, and that's really going to bring in that cold air from up here in Siberia, push it down here towards the south, and you could see about a 10 to 15, possibly even up towards a 20-degree temperature drop in parts of Japan here, Okinawa, and even towards Taiwan, and even could see cooler temperatures as far south as the northern Philippines. But meteorologically, we call this a cold surge. Now, if you look at the NOGAMS outlook here and just show some of these gradient-induced winds starting to pick up here in the East China Sea, as that strong area of high pressure starts to spill towards the south, and then you see it go all the way down here, possibly around Taiwan here in the northern Philippines. And really, you have that trough low pressure that kind of spins up here towards the south of that gradient, and that could bring some heavy precipitation to much of Luzon on the 26th into the 27th, as well as that forms out ahead of this. But let's look at the same model, but the temperature gradient associated with it. And here you can see over much of Japan, all the way out towards China, you have these areas in red. That's indicating about 20 to 30 degrees temperature Celsius. But if we go out here, let's go out towards the 25th and to the morning of the 26th is 00 Zulu or 0900. See a lot of these starting to move upwards in the blues and the greens here. Well, if we look down here in the legend, that's about 5 to 10 degrees, and even some areas extending off over North Korea and parts of northern China here, temperatures as low as freezing out there in some places, especially up here towards like Ulaanbaatar, for example, and over Mongolia, could see sub-zero temperatures down to about -10, -15. So this is going to be one of those first significant cold surges of the season, really where that high pressure over much of China and Siberia starts to affect the overall weather. But good news associated with that, as that spills towards the south, that's going to start shutting off the southwest monsoon here. Typhoon season is going to start to decrease, and also that flooding rains over much of Thailand will finally start to subside. And we've been saying that for a while, but this does look like the beginning of the end for all of that rainfall. So really fantastic news there. So really by midweek, much of Eastern Asia and even parts of northern Philippines should see that temperature drop. But good news, after that it'll start going back up. But let's look down south here towards much of Australia, actually parts of southern Australia and out towards New South Wales, seeing some flood warnings today due to this developing low, or actually a fairly deep low, moving across the bight here off towards the east. Let's bring some precipitation all the way out even towards Alice Springs in the center there. So kind of good news there as far far as the rainy season is starting to pick up there. It's going to start taking away a little bit of the drought. But also you do have the monsoonal trough starting to develop up over here over much of the Solomon Islands out towards Papua New Guinea. And that is really where you start to see the start of cyclone season. But let's look at the surface analysis here from the Bureau of the Meteorology. And they show that basically that troughing of low pressure extending all the way across much of central Australia here. And that's what's bringing those very heavy rains out there. Some fairly significant stuff extending all the way from Sydney out towards the Bight, as already noted. Good news, that's going to start moving off towards the east here. High pressure is going to originate behind that, bringing some fairer weather. So just really starting to see the transition season down here. It is the spring down there in Australia, and as we know up in the northern hemisphere, spring does bring some of that more significant weather because you get the more contradictions and colder and warmer air masses, and that's what causes a lot of severe weather. So we're seeing that extending all the way from Queensland all the way even down toward Tasmania in the last several days and even the last several weeks, and it is expected to continue to occur until the monsoonal season really starts to set in and that rainy season really starts to set in across Queensland. But that is all for today, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at WesternPacificWeather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as always, please post them in the comment box below. And also, we have a new poll being posted on the website. Please stop by and check that out as well. But it looks like the last poll, most of you enjoy the cool and breezy weather out there. That's kind of what the big consensus on it. And it looks like a lot of people just enjoy that pleasant and much cooler temperatures. So, kind of good news here with the coming days as that high pressure starts to sink towards the south and bring in that much fairer weather as well. So, thanks again for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.